the lake again. So freaking good! Heyo guys, thank you so much for tuning in again. It is good to have you guys back with us. We are on the road right now with the Cruisers Westbank, and we're just a little group here of 7 motorcycles, and we're making our way from West Kelowna all the way up to Tulameen, really just to have a little lunch break in Princeton on the way there, and then stop at the beautiful lake there up in Tulameen and enjoying the windy roads all along the way. And honestly, the views throughout the interior BC there are just phenomenal. We were struggling with the BC wildfires for quite a while, and this day is actually the first day in, it seems forever, that the smoke cleared up a little bit and you actually can see the blue skies, and you don't necessarily have the smell of the smoke like in your nose right there. It was just like amazing to get out of the Okanagan a little bit, because it tends to kind of keep the smoke right in the valley. This is also one of our first bigger kind of like group rides we've ever done so far, so especially for this kind of like amount of time, and it was so much fun. We were able to meet so many amazing people, and with that also get to know all about their knowledge and insights and little secret roads that are like even windier and twistier, so way more fun to ride with a motorcycle rather than just like stay on the highway really. We left at about 10 o'clock in the morning from the Chevron gas station in West Kelowna and made our way down to Yellow Lake actually pretty darn quick, and that was also our first stop on our way to Princeton. It was still very hot, so we made sure that we all stayed hydrated, which means tons of water, and because there's a lake right there, a couple of us actually even dunked their t-shirts in the water just to stay cool throughout the ride. But also just like taking in the views and just standing there looking at the water, the sun, the mountains. What do you guys want to like hear? British Columbia is just beautiful British Columbia. To be honest, I was a little bit worried that the area would be one of the smallest bikes and that I might have a hard time just like keeping up, especially with like the kind of like a little smaller gas tank. But we like really stopped about every 45 minutes to an hour, and every time we saw a gas station we did a little stop, filled up to make sure we're all keeping up. And like after an hour of riding, especially when it's so hot, everybody was happy to actually get a little bit of a tiny break in, which just helped to get through the ride really comfortably without struggling to like being afraid to not make it to the next gas station. The further we went away from the Okanagan, the less deserty the landscape became, so we got quite a little bit more of a green space, the trees got fuller, it just the entire landscape changed, but nevertheless it was still very hot, and especially as we got closer to the Princeton area there was a bigger fire pretty close by, so we could start to like smell the smoke again and just saw that haze in the background. But it was still freaking an amazing ride. You can see here just in the backgrounds like the mountains. It's just like, for some reason, especially here in Kiramias, you just get the cowboy vibe, as weird as it sounds. When Andy and I were driving through here for the very first time back in 2019, we could swear that there must be like a cowboy on the horse just coming around the corner, like right there. Just the feeling of this entire area is freaking amazing, and nothing that neither Andy or I ever experienced before. When we were kind of getting close to the little town called Hadley, we actually did a quick stop because we thought there was a gas station right there, because believe it or not, was not a sporty, but like a bigger road king that actually started to struggle with their gas. Against all of our recommendations, he just didn't fill up back when we left the first thing in the morning, and said, oh yeah, he still has like about half of his gas tank full. He will probably not have to fill up before the sporty does. Oh well, let me tell you guys, he learned a lesson right there pretty darn quick.
My light's been on for about 10 or 15 You saw that too, right? I saw that beer sign too and looked pretty good.
Did I not tell you to fill up?
Did I not figure the Sportster would be stopping before me?
Ha ha.
You! Don't you feel foolish? That's funny. You go back.
It's of course all fun, and everybody takes it with a couple of giggles here and there. We all made it in one piece, and that's one of the nice things about group where it's like that. We all make sure that no one is get left behind, that we're staying together as a group. With basically the slight panic of running out of gas for one friend there, we stopped in Princeton at the first gas station we saw, and then headed over to an Irish pub for lunch. And after that, we just made our way and continued on towards Tulameen, and that's where like almost like the most fun part of the road really began. Gosh, do I hate to cross bridges like that where you just have woodboards on the ground, especially with a motorcycle. Don't get me wrong, I love the view of it and just the symmetry. It's like so satisfying, but at the same time, like you can just feel how the bike wobbles underneath you, and it's not quite as secure to ride on as on a regular road, of course. But nevertheless, the roads got windier, like we climbed further up in elevations. The views got better and better. The roads got smaller and smaller. We still passed a couple of other smaller towns, which again just seem to come right out of a movie. They are so freaking cute. As I mentioned before, we never really rode in a group like that before for such a long and extended period of time. So we were quite, like me specifically, I was quite a little bit of nervous, and because I just didn't know how the rest of the group rides. Am I the most skilled? Am I the least skilled? Am I going too slow? Am I going to go too fast? Like, I had no idea how the dynamic of the group is going to work. And then especially because we didn't know the road either, so we had no idea what to expect. And then especially through the twisties, and like if the road is getting a little bit uneven, it was just interesting to see like how confident actually I became over the years already, and just like how much trust I put in the bike. And I know how the bikes are the Iron in this case specifically handles. And with this, just by the way guys, I put the quick detach windshield on because it's just so much more comfortable. It was bothering me for a while that I got a full-on wind so much on my chest, and it's very exhausting and tiring, especially if you're on the road for a few hours. And this little windshield, like, it's not a big one, it's just like a 14-inch one, I think. It's making a huge difference. So I can definitely see why touring bikes like a Street Glide is just way more comfortable, especially for longer trips. Also, by the way, look to your left, guys. The little creeks that are all over BC, freaking cute. And finally we are in Tulameen. Tulameen really is just a little cottage vacation town. There's nothing much to it, but it's just like a cute little town. I'm just like repeating myself here. But we have a lake, we have cottages, we have amazing weather, mountains in the background, of course. what else do you really need? I will shut up actually now for a few seconds so you can enjoy the little break together with me.
Aren't you the cutest?
Labradoodle.
Still my baby. He looks like a puppy.
Alright, break is over, puppy cuddle time. Check! I was actually not expecting to cuddle a couple puppies here, but like, hey, I take it. Who would say no to puppy cuddles, right? Now, after the stop here at Tulameen, at the lake right there, we just are about to head back home, which means we're going down back to Princeton, and then we are married, going back to West Kelowna, but are taking just a slight different route. We were also not expecting to see a windrow like that just there on the road. Let me tell you guys, when you're riding in a t-shirt only, I know you're not supposed to, but it was freaking hot, and then right through a little windrow sandstorm kind of thing right there, it freaking hurts. Anyways, after the little phenomena right there, we just kept riding back to Princeton and basically see now the little windy road up to Tulameen just from the other direction. So a couple different angles here and there with the same twisty roads, and twisty roads on a motorcycle are just simply best. Highways, not as much fun, but little twisties like that, tons of fun. Like I mentioned, we didn't take the highway back, which means we came across, or like rode along this little creek there, which was, it was so freaking beautiful. The video just doesn't do it justice. But our group leader there also just stopped right on the side of the road there to have a little break, because at that point we were riding another hour already since we left the lake, and he wanted to show us a couple of super interesting spots just off the street there where, like, I wasn't even aware that anything like that would still be around. The First Nation culture here in Interior BC, like British Columbia in general, is still quite prominent. So just off the road there on the big rocks, there were signs from the First Nations that are many years old already, and it's just so cool to see.
That one's definitely one.
Like we stashed.
Messages from the Indians.
Oh, that's cool.
Oka is the rock, and it's was a very valuable rock to the natives all over the place.
That's
This-
one we had too. Cool.
What's this? What's this?
Pictograph, the natives use that.
What?
in them.
So after an entire day of riding, amazing views, amazing people, tons of fun, and also a little bit of a couple of lessons here and there when it comes to the First Nations. We made our way all, back home, everybody safe, all in one piece. But as soon as we drove up from Penticton towards Summerland, we could see the Mount Law wildfire starting right there in the background. If you're following me on Instagram, you probably have seen just a couple of impressions how this fire actually developed throughout the night. Quite terrifying. We could just watch it from our balcony. Super weird to watch. But anyways, guys, we're at the end of the video. We made our entire trip to Tulameen and back all in one piece, and it was so cool to have you guys there with us. If you like this kind of content and if you want to see more motorcycle trips and motor vlogs throughout British Columbia, entire Canada, North America, consider smashing the subscribe button for me, and also turn on the bell notification so you don't miss when the next video is going to go live. And also, while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up, because it's going to take you a second and it's going to help me tons. And with that, I hope you guys are having tons of fun out there, riding safe, and we will see each other in the next video. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.